Styx, Master of Shadows, Hardcore Stealth. In Master of Shadows, you're on your own. No more giant orc by your side. You're Styx after the Heart of the World tree. If this is your introduction to Styx, he's a stealthy goblin and easily the best part of orcs and men. Despite your potential initial thoughts that this game is just Assassin's Creed with a goblin, it's much more on the Hitman meets Dishonor side with the verticality of Assassin's Creed and is easily the hardest stealth game I've ever played. As the name suggests, you have to master the shadows. Enemies can still see and detect you as you move through the shadows, and they'll even check hiding spots. It's your job to find the best route through the 8 missions of this game, each mission lasting easily 2 to 3 hours each because of how difficult the stealth gameplay is. You have at your disposal 2 throwing knives, throwable sand to put out torches, and the ability to create a clone of yourself. Getting to your objective is relying on your ability to sneak past guards and distract them. You can get into hand-to-hand combat, but it's hardly ever worth it as areas are crawling with enemies that will surround you and kill you while you're locked into a garbage combat system, parrying 1 to 5 times to be able to kill your enemy. The being locked in part is the worst. You're able to roll away if you try hard enough, but the camera stays locked on your alerted enemies trying to kill you, making it almost impossible to run most of the time. Unfortunately, the game also spoon feeds you abilities. As you complete missions and side objectives within the mission, you're awarded skill points to buff your agility, stealth, and combat, to name a few. This allows you to hold new items and do new assassinations. You feel handcuffed at first because you have to earn your way up to air assassination, which is annoying, but it's the game's way of teaching you the shadows, so slightly forgivable. The game also constantly introduces new enemies with new roles. Some of them feel cheap though. To prevent spoilers, I'll just say by the end, you'll be using your clone more than the shadows to distract and lure, instead of just as a switch thrower like you've been doing. I wasn't a fan of the exploding skulls or annoying beetles, but I did appreciate the fact that they were always changing the gameplay, making the game just as hard throughout your journey as it is from the start. It never gets easy. You never feel like you're a master assassin. Constant vulnerability, which makes for very tense moments. Completing these missions are genuinely satisfying because of this, but sadly the second half of the game is really just doing the first half of the game backwards, this time with harder enemies, which is a bit of a disappointment. It felt like the game was dragging itself out just for the sake of it. There's no shame in a game being 10 hours long. Doubling your length by reusing levels just feels lazy. And the game drags on for so long that you start to see massive flaws in the AI. They don't act natural. They seemingly always know where you are, just waiting for you to get into their line of sight to make you restart from a checkpoint. You can't confuse them, which breaks immersion, and kind of makes you feel like you're getting lucky at times instead of outsmarting them. Which brings me to the biggest issue this game has, its checkpoints and load times. You can save this game at any time. Do it. Don't rely on the game's autosave because it's horrible and even corrupted on me in the final boss fight. When you feel you made progress, save the game. But since this game is so difficult and since stealth games are so much about trial and error, it's inexcusable to have load times as long as these are. I'm convinced half of my time was spent waiting for the game to load after messing up and dying. Masters of Shadows is a really good and really challenging stealth game, but its lock in combat system, magnet-headed AI, repeat levels, and painfully long load times stop it from reaching the status of greatness. But if you're a stealth fan, definitely still play it. I give Styx, Master of Shadows, a 7 out of 10. If you played Styx, Master of Shadows, tell me what you thought about it down in the comment section below. If you haven't played it, tell me if you plan on picking it up. Thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and thanks for watching.
He's been killed. There's a body here! 2 hours! Understood.